Hello, vinyl community. How you doing? I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. Got another concert report here. Saw a couple of concerts in the past few days. Starting off, I went down to Pickerington, Ohio, to the Picktown Palooza to see a couple of bands that I like. They had an opening band called Pretty Filth, which was a local band. They do cover songs and whatnot. And, they were pretty good. I didn't really see a whole lot of them though. But next up, the first main band to come on was Vixen. That's right, Vixen was there. Vixen started out in the late '80s, of course. Had a couple of albums and then kind of ran into the whole grunge movement right around then and kind of got disbanded and whatnot. They did make some other music, but it didn't go anywhere. Although they are working on some new music, and they did a newer song called You Ought to Know on there, which sounded great. So I'm looking forward to new music from Vixen. Vixen is a different band than the last time I seen them. It's been a while. They now have Lorraine Lewis fronting the band. Of course, used to be in Femme Fatale. Does a great job fronting this band. Very energetic, very positive. That's what I would say about the whole band. Britt Lightning is on guitar now. Does a great job. Very good guitar player. And this whole band is just a lot of fun, a lot of energy. My only complaint was, for this particular show at least, was their sound. Their sound wasn't always mixed the best because sometimes it would kind of come in and out. It would become muffled at times, and that was very aggravating, especially because the women in this band were working so hard to try to work that crowd. This was at a festival type show, right? So it's pretty cheap to get in. It only cost me $5 to get in. And so there's going to be a lot of people there. You get a lawn chair type thing. So my seats weren't the best. I didn't get there early enough to get a good seat. Yeah, I mean, it was fine, but I'll try to have some clips afterwards, but you're not going to see any good clips in this video, unfortunately. My phone's been acting up too. But anyway, their sound wasn't the best. And so, some of the crowd was kind of into it. Some of them weren't. It's very hard sometimes to play that type of show, but I thought they did a great job of it, and I would love to see Vixen again. I'd kind of like to see him maybe as the headliner and see what they do with that crowd. I'm sure it would be a lot better for him, but I'd recommend go see him. Next up, headliner Lita Ford, legendary Lita Ford. Now, Lita Ford is going to be turning 65 years old this year. I'm sure she loves me talking about that. She's been around since the 70s, right? She started as a teenager in the infamous band The Runaways with, of course, Joan Jett and Cherie Currie. Lita, I've seen a handful of times, and, her set list hasn't really changed that much since the last time I saw her. But you know what? I loved it. I thought it was a great show. Now, her sound, there wasn't really any problems, if anything. Her guitar was very loud. And I like that. It was loud. It was raw. You could definitely hear, because she's got I can't think of the guy's name. I apologize. Who plays lead guitar for her, but he's a really good guitar player. And he'll do some solos. Lita does some solos. They do harmonizing together on guitar, which is fantastic. You got Bobby Rock, the monster, back there on drums. And it was a raw sounding show. I really liked it. I mean, there were some mistakes in it, which I thought just added to it. They weren't major ones, but you could tell that, they were putting some effort into it, even though, I'm sure some of this stuff they say at all the different shows or whatever, but you wouldn't have known it. I just thought there was a lot of energy in that, and I was really pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed that Lita Ford show. Not that I'm surprised that I enjoyed it, but it was just, I was really pumped when I saw it. So was my wife. She really loved it too. She really likes Lita Ford now. Next up, the following day, yesterday, I went down to the Rose Music Center, which is just outside of Dayton, which is why I'm drinking this Rheingeist beer because I had to get some of that while I was down there. Rheingeist is a brewery out of Cincinnati. Cheers, VC. This is called Lawn Chair Hot Rod. My arm looks really weird, doesn't it? Lawn Chair Hot Rod. Take a look at that. That's pretty cool. Not bad. Not bad. Anyway, who'd I see? You moron, right? War. I went down to see War. You know, War, of course, very old band. And I've never seen War. I got an 8-track of them when I was like 12 at a yard sale. It was that live album. And man, I had a good time at this show. I went with my son, Alex, to this one. He actually got us the tickets to it. Of course, War now is not the same band as of the 70s. It's led by Lonnie Jordan, original member, and he's got a bunch of other different guys in there, but they sound great. They've been together for quite a while. Did a big majority of the songs you would have liked to hear. I mean, you know, yes, I would have loved to hear them do Four Cornered Room, but I knew there was no way in hell they were going to do that song. Oh, but they did leave out a couple songs that I was kind of surprised that they left off. They didn't do The World is a Ghetto, which is surprising because this is a 50-year anniversary of that album, and they didn't do Gypsy Man. So I was kind of surprised at that a little bit, but I'm not complaining. It was a great show. I told my son, I said, I hope you're not embarrassed if I get up and dance a little bit, because, you know, that's what War is all about. Just a good time feeling band. Man, I loved it. I was getting into, they get into a groove and just, you know, bang you over the head with it. Spill the Wine, All Day Music, Slipping into Darkness. That was so cool. Getting to hear that one. Cisco Kid, Me and Baby Brother, Why Can't We Be Friends, Lowrider, of course. They ended with Lowrider. I mean, no shock there. Great sounding show. That was just one of those things. I was so happy to be able to see that band. The nostalgia and everything with it was just fantastic. I would definitely go see War again. I'd go see Lita Ford again. I'd see Vixen again. That's when I know it was a good show, if I say I would go see those bands again. So I recommend all three of these acts to you. Thanks. Maybe there'll be some clips after this. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to try to edit this. But anyway, hey, I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, my friends, I will see you down the road. You